Oh, there you are, guys. Hello, I'm Jacob, and welcome back to another episode live in my TV room. And today, I have another book that's all about winning and racing. See, that's Thomas and Emily. There's Thomas, the number one blue engine, and Emily, the emerald green engine. And she came to Sodor from Season 7 on Thomas and Friends, and it's called Emily's New Coaches. And I'm going to show you. And today's book is titled, and it's called Thomas and Friends Made the Best Engine Win. Illustrated by Tom Stubbs. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 pages, guys. So let's read. So you better get your listening ears on. And here we go. Thomas and Friends made the best engine win. Based on the Railway series by the Rev. W. Andre. Created by Britt Olive-Croft. Early one morning on the island of Sodor, Sir Topham Hatt, the controller of the railway, came to the yard. Thomas and Emily were preparing for a busy day. Thomas always worked very hard. He was proud to be a really useful engine. Emily was new, and she wanted to prove that she was really useful too. She hoped that Sir Topham Hatt how excited she was to start her day. Thomas, there's a lot to do today. I hope that everything gets done on time, said Sir Topham Hatt. Why should Thomas get all the work? Asked Emily. I can do everything. I'm faster than him, too, said Emily. See, guys, there's the workmen, Sir Topham Hatt, Thomas, and Emily. There's Gordon, Emily, and Thomas, and Sir Topham Hatt again. Sir Topham Hatt was glad that Emily wanted to help. He told them, I can divide up the duties, that both of you will have the same workload today. Emily knew it would be a long day, but she smiled. And she told Thomas, now you'll see what I can do. Thomas was used for long days. And he said, Emily, this might be too much work for you, he teased. You should let me do more. She puffed. Emily puffed. I'll race you. Whoever finishes, makes it back to the station first, is the winner. Let's go, peeped Thomas, with a peep and a toot. Thomas and Emily left the station side by side. And the race has started, guys. Just like in Mario Kart 64. Emily's first stop was at the quarry. See? There's Emily at the quarry. And there's, troublesome trucks. And there's Monty and Ned. Emily's first stop was at the quarry. She brought crates full of tools and she had to stay in place while the workers unload them. After all the crates were taken away, the workers hitched her into some freight cars of larger stones. Emily knew really useful engines to be good at waiting, but it was difficult for her to be patient. Please hurry, she told the workers. I want to get Thomas to get ahead. Patience, Emily, said the workman. While Emily was at the quarry, see, guys, there's Thomas collecting passengers. While Emily was at the quarry, Thomas was running his branch line. He moved from station to station. At every stop, more passengers got off. And there's Thomas's coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. Got lighter and lighter. I'll bet I'll be pulling of Emily already, thought Thomas happily. All along the way to his last station, Thomas saw Emily shuddering with stone from the quarry. There you are, slow coach, she called. Thomas laughed. That stone looked awfully heavy, Thomas said. He hoped Emily would get tired from hauling such a heavy load. Thomas had a second job. There's Thomas at the docks with Cranky and Gordon again. And it's full of many things. Seagulls, cranes, and even boats. Thomas's second job was to deliver barrels to the docks. He had to wait till the barrels to be moved onto boats. Thomas was not a very patient engine, but he knew no good to win. But the race, he hadn't do his job just right. The other engines will tease me forever. If Emily wins, he thought, he will have to go faster, extra fast to his next stop. There's Thomas's driver. Is it time to go back to your shed? He asked his driver. You still have to haul some troublesome trucks to the Kronk station, said the driver. Looks like troublesome trucks are really troublesome from Thomas. Troublesome trucks were always bumping and bashing. Thomas had to work hard to keep them in line. Don't try anything funny, he said as they left the station. Okay, said the troublesome trucks, but soon Thomas had to stop at the signal. The signalman was worried, and he explained, and he said, some rocks have fallen onto the tracks. You'll have to wait until the way is clear. Oh, bother, said Thomas. I wonder where Emily is now. Emily had left Sudbury. Her final job was a special along the mountain route. On the way, she passed Thomas, who stopped at a signal. Poor Thomas, she called to him. Looks like you're stuck. Emily sped up. Then there was trouble. Emily saw the warning sign of a winding track ahead, but she didn't want to slow down and risking slowing down. The track was difficult, and she was going too fast, and her driver tried to tell her to slow down. Looks like those are steep curves, and you can fall off the tracks if you're not careful, guys. Slow down, Emily, called her driver. But it was too late. As Emily took a turn too fast, one of her freight cars tipped over. Bubbling boilers, cried Emily. Now she had to wait for Thomas. Emily thought, and she said, Thomas will get ahead for sure, she thought. Thomas was having better luck. The rocks had been cleared, and he was almost done. There's Harvey, guys, the crane engine. And he was almost done with his last job of the day. He saw Harvey moving on the opposite track. Hello, Harvey, peeped Thomas. Where are you headed? Emily's hit a spot of trouble up the line, said Harvey. Nothing to worry about. Looks like Harvey is on his way to the rescue, guys. Harvey the Crane, to the rescue! Emily was glad to see Harvey, and she thanked him for his help. Thank you, Harvey, whistled Emily. I'll take the rest of the path slowly, she said. If I am more careful, I still might beat Thomas. We're almost done, guys. Thomas was having a very difficulty with the troublesome trucks. They made him go faster, and then he wanted to stay but his brakes were strong. He was able to stay on the tracks. See? Thomas was slowing down. Not bad, Thomas. Once the troublesome trucks were unhinged, he sped toward home. I hope Emily wasn't there, Thomas thought. The sun was setting by the time Thomas arrived at the yard. He didn't see Emily anywhere. Oh dear, guys. Looks like Emily was feeling sad. Emily arrived only a minute later. When she saw Thomas, she frowned. She had really want to beat him. Thomas saw her sad expression. He knew that he wouldn't be sad if he had lost, so he decided not to brag. That was a close race, said Thomas. You won fair and square, said Emily. There it is, guys. There's the end. But I'll beat you tomorrow, she added. Thomas laughed. We will see about that, Emily. I agree, Thomas, said Emily. The end. Great story, guys, but oh, would you look at the time? Mario Party 3 is coming up next. It's on Duel. So, this is Jacob Kotz and my book saying he will be right back after these messages.